Hi guys, welcome to week 4. Wow, we've been in school for 4 weeks now. I'm so excited. You have done an amazing job. We are so proud of you. There is one thing I want to tell you. I've had a lot of questions about this, so I'm going to explain how Google Drive works. If you click on your waffle, the 9 dots at the top right hand corner in a new tab, it will pull up an app that says Drive. And if you click on Drive, you'll see all the things that you've ever done, but you'll also see a little folder that says Classroom. Double click on Classroom and you'll see all the classes that you have ever been a part of in Google Classroom. So to access your reading work, click on your reading class, and then you'll see things like your writing journals, your vocabulary study guides, anything that we've done in class. You'll be able to access it so that you can get back to that work if you need to. So I wanted to throw that out there so you guys understand how to do that. Okay, this week we have a lot to do. So of course, you've already completed the question of the day. I know you have. You're doing such a great job at that. You're watching our video. This week we're going to be learning about poetry, and I can't wait. This is one of my favorite things to teach. I love reading poetry and writing poetry. I think you're going to enjoy it too. We're also going to learn some new vocabulary today. You'll have a writing journal, of course. Remember, don't turn in your writing journal until you're completely finished with it. And then we have our vocabulary study guide, just like we did last week. We're going to start our novel called Journey to Joburg. And then I'm going to teach you how to write a poem. So very excited about that. So let's look at our objectives for the week. Notice that we have fewer objectives than we did last week. Doesn't mean we're going to do less work. We're just condensing it a little bit. Of course, new vocabulary every time. Writing and presenting a poem. We're going to talk about what poetry is. We're going to read a poem and analyze it. We're going to read a historical fiction novel and analyze it. And then we're going to talk about speaker and refrain in a lyric poem. And don't forget our essential question for this unit: how do you find courage in the face of fear? Think about that as we read our stories and our poems this week.
We have some new vocabulary that we're going to be learning this week. So let's look at our vocabulary words this week. We have the words factor, speaker, lyric poem, and repetition, and refrain. So a lot of those words are going to go along with our poetry that we're learning. So the first word that we see is the word factor, and it is a noun. Someone or something that has an effect on an event or a process or a situation. And so you see, it looks like a man that is climbing, or a man or a woman climbing up a mountain. Having too many absences was a factor in my failing the assignment. And so what could be a factor in him falling off that mountain? Maybe he wasn't holding on tight enough, or maybe the factor in him even climbing that mountain is that he wanted to be brave and show courage and try something new. So it has an effect on an event. Okay, the next one is speaker. It is a noun. The voice that talks to the reader in a poem. The speaker in the poem was talking about fear. So it's that voice that's telling you about that poem. We have lyric poem. This is going to be an important one this week. It is a noun, a form of poetry in which a single speaker expresses his or her personal ideas and feelings. They're telling you how they feel about something. My favorite song is written as a lyric poem. The Butterfly Told Me If You Can't Fly High, Fly Free by Jericho Silvers. So it's the way that that author is expressing their feelings in a poem. And we're going to hear a lot of lyric poems this week. Repetition is a noun, repeating certain words, sounds, and syllables in a poem. And you can see on the picture, I will do my homework, I will do my homework, I will do my homework. That's repetition. The poet used repetition of the word fear to help us know that she was afraid, saying the same thing over and over again. Refrain is a noun. It is a phrase, line, or set of phrases or lines repeated regularly throughout the poem at intervals, often at the end of a stanza. And the little picture over here, you can see what's underlined. In this poem, the same refrain is being repeated. Friends are special, friends are special, friends are special, friends are special. That's something that poets use oftentimes in their poems.
And this week we're going to focus a lot on lyric poetry, and we've got some really cool videos that we're going to share with you each day about people presenting their spoken word poetry, and they're very, very awesome, and we're very excited for you to get to see them.
So
Now,
don't skip over those.
Don't
Yes.
skip over them. You're going to want to watch them. They're really
good.
amazing.
Mhm.
But lyric poetry, it's usually short, and it conveys some emotion with a lot of intensity. It's usually written in the first person point of view. So like, I feel this. So you're using that I, first person point of view, to convey the speaker's thoughts and feelings. It uses repetition and refrain. So a lot of repeating of very important lines that mean a lot to the speaker. And rhyme to create a melodic quality. So a lot of lyric poetry you can actually find in your favorite songs.
Mhm.
So that lyric, a lot of your favorite songs are lyric poems, just kind of set to music. This includes many forms. It's got sonnets, which are 14-line poems, odes, and elegies. And all of those use intense feelings or emotions to convey what the speaker is trying to get across. And we're going to watch some lyric poems. We're going to write our own this week. We're all super excited for you to get into poetry with us.
Poetry's a lot of fun.
And this video actually just kind of teaches you a little bit more about what a lyric poem is. So don't forget to watch that one as well.
Very important. Watch the video.
Watch the videos.
I watched the video. Did you watch the video?
I watched the video. Did you watch the video?
I watched the video. Did y'all watch the video?
We watched the video. Writing
Oh.
journal.
Got off. So you have your writing journal this week. Remember, we're looking for about 10 sentences. I know that that's pushing it. Y'all are getting better at that though. So your prompt today is, what are you most afraid of? So think about what you're most afraid of, and don't just say spiders. Okay, that's just one word. I want you to think about what's a fear that you have, and why are you afraid of that? How does it make you feel? What does it make you think of? There's lots of things that you can pull from to make your journal at least 10 sentences. Start with a capital, have punctuation. It should be, from beginning to end, something that we want to read to learn more about what your fear is.
So this week we're going to write poems, and there are many different kinds of poems to write. We're going to kind of focus on lyric poems this week. I want you to practice expressing your feelings and your thoughts in a poem, and that should be easy. You know what you're feeling and thinking. So when you're writing a poem, the first thing that you need to do is choose an audience, because of course if you're writing a poem for your teacher, it's going to be a little bit different than if you're writing a poem to impress your friends. So think about who it is that you're writing to. Are you writing to children, teenagers, adults? And then tailor your poem to match that, your audience. Choose your speaker. Speaker and poet are different. You are the poet, you are writing. You can have anybody in your poem be the speaker. Okay, maybe the speaker is an animal, maybe the speaker is a child, or maybe the speaker is you, and you as the speaker are sharing something, but you need to consider that who is speaking in your poem. Choose a topic. It's not wise to start writing before you figure out what you want to write about. Think about what you're wanting to say in your poem. And then choose a genre. Like I said, we're going to focus on lyric poetry, but if you want to write in a free verse or if you want to write a narrative poem, you need to know that before you start writing. And then start writing. It is okay to go ahead and start writing and then mark out, cross out, erase. Good writers put their thoughts down and then they go back and they continuously work until they have a product that they're proud of. Don't be afraid to go back and rework things to make it what you want it to be.
I don't think any good writers, like that have ever published books or works of poetry, I don't think any of them have written the perfect paper or the perfect book or the perfect poem the first time.
No.
Most of them, it takes like 70 more drafts. Like it takes a long time to get it ready for publishing.
For sure. So here are a few tips. You can use a poem that you've read before for inspiration. Maybe you like the rhythm, maybe you like their topic, you like the way that they use rhyme. Use that to inspire you. Don't copy it. That's not okay. But use it to help you come up with your idea. Use a template. I'm going to show you a template in a minute. You can use a template to help you come up with a poem. So if you're having a hard time, use a template and it'll tell you kind of what to put where with your own words. Experiment with rhyme, okay? Not all poems rhyme. Some poems have a lot of rhyme and some poems have a little bit of rhyme. Experiment with that and you'll find that it can make your poem sound differently, depending on where you put those rhymes. So play with it. And then you can use different syllables to create rhythm. When you say your poem out loud, you want it to have a certain rhythm. So think about how many syllables are in the words that you're using. It'll make it sound differently depending on how you do that. So we're going to create a haiku together, and Miss Norman, Miss Shuttlesworth, and we're going to play with this for just a minute. Okay, so a haiku is all about syllables. It's a type of Japanese poem. And what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to comment under this slideshow your very own haiku. So it's a great way to know who watched this video. I'm excited to read your haikus. I think that they're so fun. So let's see. I'm going to give the first line. Miss Norman's going to give the second line with 7 syllables, and Miss Shuttlesworth is going to give the third line. So, I like to eat cake. That's 5 syllables. That's my first line. So, I like to eat cake.
It tastes so good and is nice. 7 syllables.
It is my absolute favorite thing to eat.
Oh, you have 5 syllables.
Oh, I had 5.
5.
I thought that was an 8. Let's see. Cake is my favorite thing.
It is so yummy.
It is so yummy.
Yes.
It is so yummy.
It's hard to count syllables sometimes, but you see, a haiku is all about syllables.
So how do they know what a syllable is?
A syllable is a part of a word. So think about cat has 1 syllable, cat. Okay, rabbit has 2, rabbit. Animal has 4, animal 3.
3.
Okay, so you count the
You
parts.
gotta
Some
clap it
people can put your hand under your chin and you can feel the syllables as you talk. It doesn't have to be perfect.
No, and you notice how when we were sitting here counting it out, if I made a mistake, I can go back and think, wait a minute, that's too many. I've got to count again. Oh wait, that's too many. And so if I had been writing that down, that's what I would have done. I would have written it down. I would have clapped it out and put my number next to each line. And then I could have said, oh yeah, that's not going to work. But writing it down, I could have been looking back and going, okay, what is it I need to do?
It's almost like solving your own puzzle. Because you're making sure that everything fits where it's supposed to fit. And so it's going to be a little tricky, and you're kind of solving it as in your head and writing it down. And don't be afraid to mess up, because you're always going to go back and edit things.
For sure.
It's not a you have to do this right the exact first time, or
Don't get frustrated.
Yeah.
Just keep trying until you find something that works.
But this is your exercise for today. Write us a haiku. I'm so excited to
I am
read them.
too.
And if it's really great, we may share it with our face-to-face students. So very exciting. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.
yes. This week we are going to start our first novel, and it's a very short novel. It's only about 37 pages long, so it's like a novella or a short story. And it's called Journey to Joburg, and it is a historical fiction. So last week we read The Breadwinner that was set in the 1990s in Afghanistan. This week, Journey to Joburg is set in the 1980s in South Africa. And it is during a time called apartheid. And that is when black Africans and white South Africans were segregated. They couldn't live in the same parts of the city as each other. They couldn't work in the same jobs. Black Africans had to have passes to get around certain parts of cities because they weren't allowed to go everywhere or anywhere they wanted to go. They had to have special permission. And so Journey to Joburg is about a little girl named Naledi and her young brother who make a big walking journey to Johannesburg to find their mother. And as they make this journey, they encounter different people along the way who help them make the trip. And we, the reader, experience what apartheid is like in South Africa through their eyes. It's a very short story. It is really, really good. I think that you're going to like it a lot. And it really answers or hits on our question, how do you find courage in the face of fear? Because Naledi and her little brother have to do some really brave things to try and get their mom. We are just really excited about this one. We think it's going to be interesting for you. It's going to really open your eyes to other parts of the world, and you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it a lot. And we have a little apartheid video from Brain Pop that you can watch that's gonna tell you a little bit more about what apartheid is.
It will help you understand the story better
Yes.
if you watch the little video.
It will help you understand the story better, and it's going to help you understand what Naledi and her brother all go through as the story goes on, as we continue on through the story today. And then after you watch the apartheid video, you're going to read or listen to chapters 1 and 2 of Journey to Joburg. And we are going to have the audiobook available, the link available for you to listen to that. So don't worry if you're like, I don't have the book, I don't know where that's at.
It's okay.
It's okay, we've got you covered. Okay? And then, after we finish chapters 1 through 2,
We're finished.
We're finished for
finished.
today. Mark
Excellent.
your assignment as
Done.
done.
You worked hard today.
Mhm.
Guys, there's a lot. We know there's a lot. But I promise if you take the time to watch the videos that we've provided, they will help you a lot to understand what we're doing this week. So, great job, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.